Welcome to What It's Worth, the show where we look at a game and see if it's worth its pricing. But here's the thing about that. Most games people know fall into the AAA category. These are games made by big budget industries that usually sell their games for either $60 or more rarely $40. These are more of like the summer blockbusters of video games. Now, indie games work very differently, and I'm going to have Jack explain.
So independent games, or indie games as they're mostly called, are passion projects that are made by like a small group of people, or sometimes it can just be one people, and they'll find their way into circulation by either getting critical reviews that are good, or they could even be like the weirdest shit in the world.
Like most passion projects, indie games can either be good or bad, so trying to measure their objective quality comparative to their price can be quite difficult, but today we're going to try anyway.
Developed by Acid Nerve and published by Devolver Digital, the indie scene's resident talent scout, comes Titan Souls.
Do you hate how boss fights always have a big open level before them? Well, Titan Souls does. There's nothing here but an open countryside and 20-odd bosses to fight. You know what to do.
And by you, I mean an unnamed archer guy who materializes when you start a new save file. We're gonna call him, Derpin Hood. You only have one arrow, but unlike my dad, the arrow actually comes back. You don't get free reign to murder everything until you get to open this door. Now there's 4 dots and 4 bosses in the area. Screw long speeches that establish your mythos or character motivations.
All you gotta do is look at pictures. That's one thing I really like about Titan Souls. It has very well done visual storytelling, letting you figure things out and digest things at your own pace.
Now, the first of the 4 bosses is a heart stuck in slime, and your goal is to tear away the slime and shoot the heart. The second boss is a giant block with one eye. After X amount of rotations, it shoots a giant laser, but that eye is also its weak spot, so it has high risk and high reward. Even if you die, respawns are nice and quick. Boss 3 out of 4 is a brain stuck in ice, and your goal is to tear away the ice and shoot the...
Just a minute, give me a second. Nope, I didn't skip any pages. It's just a rehash.
A little thing that adds to the gameplay is after a successful kill, you get to hold down the recall button one more time and jiggle that arrow loose from the corpse. Never gets old. Then, last but not least, there's this guy.
That's a dick move. I mean, you know what I mean. Remember when I said quick respawns keep frustrations down? Well, seeing the same animation repeat again and again is really not helping that out. Oh, it's so hilarious. He beats you, then he beats off. Finally! That fight was so terrible. Why weren't the other 3 bosses like that? I think it's because of the aiming. Now, this is kind of hard to show, but aiming in this game is just off enough to make precise shots a pain in the ass. So fighting bosses like this with a very small kill box is not fun at all.
After busy fingers, the tutorial is over and a giant elevator takes you to yet another giant door. This one with 8 dots.
Oh, but these aren't 8 bosses you have to kill. These are 8 areas you have to clear.
There's forest, mountains, ruins, mountains, volcano, which is basically a red mountain, snowy mountain, and mountain.
Oh, so that's why Derpin Hood looks like that. The altitude's just making his eyes pop.
Jokes aside, I don't know why they felt so stuck on the mountains backdrop. My theory is they exhausted all their creative designs on the bosses. Speaking of which, most bosses will be easy but fun, difficult but clever, or this.
You know, despite a lot of the bosses looking really nice visually, about half of them fall into the shoot weak spot for an insta-kill category.
As for the more interesting half of the bosses, they may not die right away, but the arrow will do something. Now after you've completed enough areas, the giant doors open. Take a long elevator ride. You've honed your skills since the last ride on one of these, And now, your way to the ultimate test. A lonely, tense walk across a stone bridge, even more tense walk through some sort of temple, an even more intense climb up some sort of celestial stairway to...
Oh. Oh. No, you know what? No. It's not the fact that he's a reskin that's the worst part. And it's not the fact that he has the same weak spot. It's the fact that every time that spot opens, there's a giant laser that shoots out. To get it to open, you have to have him slam down fists on a stupid panel. And every time those panels open, that laser takes up half of the arena. Whew. So luckily, this is not the last boss you have to fight. There's one more after this, and my god is it a palate cleanser. No footage for this fight though. It's something you're going to want to experience for yourself. And double goes for the 100% completion boss. So let's get down to brass tacks. There are a lot of boss rush games out there, and Titan Souls actually leans to the better side of those games, despite the wonky controls and the aggravating sections. This is the definition of a game that deserves a more polished sequel. But, as the game stands, for its $15 asking price, Titan Souls is worth it.